Hey everybody, Dan Prairie from Motoprimo Motorsports in Lakeville, Minnesota, and I am your Triumph champion here at Motoprimo. Just wanted to give you guys a quick walk around of the brand new 2018 Tiger 1200. So this Explorer name that you see here on our sign is actually discontinued in the whole Tiger lineup. So you have Tiger 800, Tiger 1200. Tiger 1200 loses a lot of weight on the high-end model. So this is the XRT. Comes standard with the Aero exhaust, which gives you a huge sound upgrade, but it does lighten up the bike because this is going to be a titanium muffler on this guy. You're losing about 40 pounds on this bike versus the previous generation as they sit. When you add bags, obviously that's going to be a different deal, but that 40 pounds helps a lot. Now this bike's been redesigned for 18. You have different components in the motor, the bodywork's been updated, and then there's some obvious updates when you get a little bit closer. So if you've actually owned one of these or ridden one, the seat is actually a lot different. Now these have the new 3D mesh in them, so they're a lot plusher, they're a lot better to sit on, and they don't fatigue you near as much as they used to. They also got rid of one of the lines that was in the seat that was actually a kind of a hard line, and you could feel it on your thighs when you were riding for a sustained period of time. So if you're doing a lot of highway riding, that kind of thing. They also updated the front end of this bike. So as you can see right here, the headlights are fully updated. So you got the LEDs in this bike, along with the cornering LEDs. So we'll just key her on here, so you can see. But totally updated TFT dash, keyless ignition, so you can turn the ignition off with that little button right there. Keying it on is really easy. You got power on, power off. So that's basically exactly how it works. If you push down and hold it, it'll key the bike off. You push down, hold it, it'll key the bike on. This key is good for about 3 feet proximity around the bike. So if you pull up, you stop, and you go get something to eat, it's not going to sit there ready to go. It will actually turn itself off. So the dash is updated for this Tiger model. So you got coolant. There's your screen height adjustment, because you actually have a power windscreen. This goes way up. So really easy to use, and that's just using the 5-way adjuster here, just like the street and the speed triple have now. You have electronic suspension, so really easy to adjust. All you're doing is pushing up and down on the joystick, and that'll automatically adjust your suspension. You have auto, and you have a road version, so you can kind of set that up how you like. Trip 1, trip 2, fuel mileage, auto contrast, so it's the same as the other bikes. As you can see here, really cool being able to change that on the fly if you need to. Coolant, and then this also has the different modes on the display, so you can change those out. It's just not set up yet. So you can go into the background. All I did here is there's a home menu. So if you push that, you can see on the screen, it pulls up the background menu. You use your 5-way adjuster right here, just your little joystick, and you can go in here and you can go to display. We'll go to themes, theme, we'll put it on style, and then you're good. Now you can also go in here and change your visible tray. So your visible tray will show you, this is everything that it's going to show you. So if you don't want something, you don't need your trip to, you don't really care about service intervals, you can just turn it off. If you don't care about seeing the contrast, coolant, I think I like to see the coolant just to see, make sure everything's staying kind of cool and level, especially if you're riding somewhere where it is really hot. If you're out in the desert and Arizona in the summertime, that kind of thing, you want to make sure your bike's staying a comfortable temperature. It may not feel comfortable, but you want to make sure your bike is. So you can change your language, the units, so that's going to be your miles per hour, your kilometers to miles per hour, all that stuff. So if you go to Canada, if you're in the United States, or if you go out of the country, you can switch this to whatever you like. You can set the clock here. You can set it to 12 or 24, which is actually really nice because a lot of the other Triumphs are stuck on a 24-hour. So you kind of got to adjust to that. If you're an American, most of us use a 12-hour clock, except for some of our military, which we highly appreciate, but they use the 24, and they're more used to the Triumphs than I am myself. So date format, so however you like it. In the US, we do month, day, year, but I know a lot of other places, they do day first and then month, so you can change that, set it up how you like. Gear shift indicator, so if you want that to display, you can set that up. You can change your trip setups, your bike setups, so your electronic suspension, your shift assist, which is really cool, hill hold, all this stuff works. So if you want ABS traction control on, you can turn it off manually if you like. Otherwise, the ride modes, you can set those up too. There's a lot to go on this. We'll just do a quick overview, but we'll get into, so I can show you the different displays here. So there's 6 of these actually, but they only put 3 at a time, and you can kind of change through them, but you got to go back into the background menu. So style 1, which is what we're in now. You have style 2, a little sportier. Style 3, which is a sporty version also. I like the theme 2. I think theme 2 has probably better setups for this bike, depending on how you like to ride, but it all depends on what you like visually too. So going around back to the front of the bike, back to the headlights, as you can see here, really cool LED running lights. So it's hard to see on the camera, but just these strips right here, which are all LED. This actually has cornering lights, so there's 3 LEDs right here, which you won't be able to see on the show floor, and it's hard to do when you're riding too, obviously, unless you have a camera strapped to the nose. But these 3 little LEDs will light up in sequence as you're leaning over through a corner. So the more lean angle you have, the more lights you have lighting up, and that's going to throw to the outside a little bit more and really help with being able to see through that corner and, and know what's coming at you. Like you wouldn't get on any of the other bikes that don't have that feature. Now, you have fully electronic suspension, so you can change that. Also, you have ride modes. Now, this bike is set up with not all the ride modes that the XC has, the XCX, but as you can see here, you have a road sport, which is kind of your twisty road. You have an off-road mode, which will turn down a lot of the electronics. You won't be running full off traction control, but it'll turn it way down. Rider programmable, so you could set that up like an off-road pro mode. And rain mode. Really easy to select. You just hit the 5-way toggle, press it in, there you go. Good to go. Same thing here, just push it, good to go. Now, the seat comes off just like all the other ones do, so nothing huge there. Still, right here is a key. It pops the back seat off, and then you can pop this off. This seat is adjustable. Same deal as the previous versions, basically. So you just have a strap, pull the strap into the height position you like, and you're back down the road. These 2 come with a center stand, so you got that. Real easy to use, just right here. If you've never used a center stand, ask your local dealer. They will show you. If you come in to see me, I will show you immediately. It's really easy to do. I'll show you when you get your new bike too. Love to do it. The cool thing on these bikes too is they have like everything you can get. They have a shift assist on the clutch, so it works like an automatic, almost like a semi-automatic. You do not have to use your clutch when you're shifting. So if you see that little deal right there, when you grab the next gear, a little bit over 3,500 RPM, it grabs the next gear faster than you can normally shift. It works extremely well, and it's really fun to use. I would suggest, if you get to test ride these, to definitely try it. If you're getting on the freeway, give it a handful and grab the next gear, It is not a speed shifter. They do not call it that. It's an intelligent shifter, and it just helps you when you're off-roading for sure. It helps you on longer rides, and it's just a fun thing to use. Makes life a little bit easier. Up front, we'll kind of focus on this for a little bit here. WP suspension, fully electronic, Brembo brakes, very similar Brembo brakes so I have on my Speed Triple, and they are fantastic, work really well, radio mounted, so you should get a lot of life out of these, and they have a ton of power. I've ridden this bike off-road in, not this particular one, but one just like it in Moab. You may have watched some video of that on the Speed Triple. It was fantastic. We had different tires on them, and then we were using the XC versions, and they did great. The suspension soaked up everything we threw at it. They crashed well from a few people that I saw. They were just a really cool setup. So let's put some fire in this bike. And I'll have to wiggle the camera to do this. Hit the start button. Okay, and turn it off. All right. All right, we'll fire this bike up here. This thing hates me for some reason. All right, we will start this bike up here. So you can hear the new exhaust. See the new headlights. Really nice, really bright, nice white. Now this bike does have heated seats and heated grips. Heated grips are just like on the Bonnevilles. There's just a button right here and it displays on the dash. So you can see that little handle grip. So this is the Triumph Tiger 1200 XRT. Guys, thanks for watching the video. I know it went on a little bit longer than some of the other videos, but I appreciate you sticking around watching. Send it to your friends. If you need any more information on this motorcycle, if I can go over it again for you, absolutely. Give me a call. Stop into the store. I'd love to. Our phone number here is 952-465-0500. And I'm Dan Prairie from Motoprimo Motorsports in Lakeville, Minnesota. I'm your Triumph champion, and visit us online at www.motoprimo.com for all the gear and accessories you'll need to hit the road today. Thanks.